Todd Newton, who is a 2012 Daytime Emmy winner for Best Game Show Host, is our guest right now on HonestTL.com. Now, before we talk to Todd, many of you will remember him as another person. Many years ago in a land far away as Rick Idle. Does anybody call you Rick Idle anymore?
You know, it's funny when I come back to St. Louis, Jeff. I hear that. I hear that quite a bit. You know, somebody will say, "Rick, it's great to have you back," and I'm like, "Thank you." And then I realize, man, I haven't been called Rick in 15 years. You know, but it's a nice homecoming.
Todd, who was Rick Idle on Hot 97.1 and Q105, and you had a show on Channel 11, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did a lot of work on Channel 11, which was really my foray into television.
Now, we got to say this: you went to Oakville High School, right?
I did indeed,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. And first of all, you've written a book. It's called Life in the Bonus Round, and there's a part in there about your time here in St. Louis. And let's talk about that. How did you get started in doing this disc jockey thing? And then what made you think, well, I want to go to Hollywood and try that gig?
Well, it's funny you of all people, Jeff, should ask about how I got started in the whole radio thing, because like I've certainly made no secrets over the years about the fact that from the time I was 11, 12 years old, growing up in South County, I was very, very much influenced by the personalities that I listened to on the radio up on my stereo in the room, you know, and I had this great agreement with my parents. They were supportive even from a young age that as long as my grades didn't suffer, I could listen to the radio while I did my homework. And it never became a problem because I could not have cared less about the music that was playing. I was more enthralled and enamored by the personalities that came on between the songs. To be honest, and I'm not just saying that because you and I are chatting, but the guys that influenced me were the guys on a station KWK and the original Q106.5. It was you, and it was Jimmy Page, the Nighttime Rage, and it was Chris Knight, and it was Stevie B, Steve Buys. And
was your first job at 97.1?
Well, you know, I was working the first time you and I met, and this goes way back, and I'm sure it meant a lot more to me than it did to you. But you and Jimmy Page were doing a radio appearance at the Oz nightclub in St. Louis, East St. Louis, and I was so excited for you guys to get there. You know, I wasn't the guy spinning the records at the Oz. I was just kind of the guy who emceed all the contests and talked about the beer specials, and you know that was my job. But I was a senior in high school, and I thought I had the world on a string. You know, it was the greatest job I could have asked for. And when they told me that you guys were going to be coming in to promote the radio station, man, I couldn't wait. And sure enough, here you two came walking in your light blue Q106.5 jackets. And
yes.
Yeah,
yes, the jackets.
And I just remember you guys took the microphone, and you know, it was a microphone that I'd been talking into 10 minutes prior. But when you guys got on it, it was something completely different. And, you know, the girls started paying attention and the crowd livened up. And I said, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. And it just so happens that shortly after that, the Oz nightclub asked me to go to Hot 97 and talk about some promotion we were having. And they said, you're the one that does all the talking, so you go and you do it. So I did it. And on my way out, I just happened to ask them if they needed any interns to do anything around the station. And, of course, they did. People are always looking for people to work for free. And
absolutely.
I did that for 6 or 8 months, and it was, the quintessential story about just being in the right place at the right time. I happened to be there late one night when a guy couldn't show up for the midnight to 6 shift, and they let me run the control. I did that for a few more months, and then finally I got up the cojones to start talking in the overnight hours, and they thought, well, he doesn't suck, so we don't have to pay him anymore. Let's just let him go on and see if we can turn him into something. And they gave me a great break.